Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've done an update, and I'm sure some of you might be saying, where'd he go? Why doesn't he do any updates? Well, it's been a long couple of weeks. Um, to bring you up to date, end of March found a knot, 1st of April, middle of April, got diagnosed with the cancer. 16th of June, of May, 16th of May, had the surgery, and they told me, well, we're going to have to do some treatment. So that's where we are today. Now, last week I was supposed to have had the PET scan and everything. I didn't do it because, uh, well, I missed my blood sugar cutoff. Apparently, you can't have a PET scan if your blood sugar is over 200, and mine was a little bit over it. It's okay. Got it this week. In the meantime, as part of getting ready for treatment, you have to go see an oncology dentist. Now, that's a new one on me, but all it basically is because they're going to be lighting up this side of my face. They've got to make sure that the teeth are solid. Because if you've seen movies like the Day After in 1984, where they had nuclear bombs in the United States and people's teeth just started falling out, that's what happens with the cumulative effects of radiation. So anyway, I went to see the oncology dentist, and everything was fine. Didn't have to have any problems. They don't foresee any problems, so that was good to go. So the only thing left to do before I started my treatments and figuring out what kind of treatments I was going to have to take was to go in and have the PET scan done. Now, if you've never had a PET scan, that is probably one of the most difficult tests. I think the only other test more difficult is an MRI. But with the PET scan, you lay on a small table. And in my case, as big a fella as I am, well, I had half of each cheek hanging off the side of the table. So it wasn't really a comfortable thing. I guess it's probably how a thong feels to some people. But anyway, because I've also had some PT done on this shoulder, I couldn't actually get my arm to do right. So I was going to have to lay like this in a tube for about half an hour. And it was not fun. But they did it. And when they got done with it, they sent me over to see my radiology, my radiation oncologist. I got so many things here now. I'm trying to remember all of them and what they mean and what they're called. But anyway, I went to see the radiology oncologist, and they decided it was time to make my Jason mask. Now, and of course, I'm not saying if you haven't had radiation, because the majority of you haven't. But what they do is they put some kind of a shield on your face to protect the non-affected areas from the radiation. Well, what that consists of is taking some kind of a non-radioactive material and laying it on your face and making a mask out of it. And it is pliable when they put it on, and over the course of about 10 to 12 minutes, it hardens. But during those 10 to 12 minutes, it's like the PET scan, except this time you've got something right down on your face, like this. And they clamp your shoulders down to the table. Again, it's like a thong. You've got stuff hanging out either side. But they clamp you down on the table. And then they put the mask on you for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you. About 8 minutes into the mask, begin to get a little claustrophobic. But they got the mask made, and then they did a test run without any radiation just to see that it was fitted right and everything. And I was getting ready to go, and they said, now look, this is your mask. There's lots of others, but this one is yours. And it kind of reminded me of the movie Full Metal Jacket, where the drill instructor is telling the recruits how to pray in bed with their gun, and you know this is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Well, that's the way it was with my mask. So I've got this mask that's just waiting on me. So then they send me back to the medical oncologist because I still have not gotten the results of the PET scan. So I go in to talk to the medical oncologist, and he walks in, and I'm looking at my notes here. And these folks are really concise, precise. Reason for the exam, and they tell what that's for. And then the findings. After administering the radioactive tracer, imaging performed included the neck, chest, and abdomen, and pelvis. So they went from here to mid-thigh, looking for anything they could find. I think the only thing they didn't really find was a brain, but, there's the Wizard of Oz if I only had a brain. Obviously, there were some post-operative changes, surgical clips. I guess I'm going to set off metal detectors then in the future. But one of the best things I heard, and it was probably the happiest time that I can remember in a while. Basically, everything looked unremarkable. Now, I guess that means good, because from there on, other than I don't know what no free air, free fluid, or information meant, I guess it means I didn't wet my pants. But it says, bottom line, I'm clean. The PET scan was clean. They found no other cancer. So, what they did was they told me to put the hat on, the ugly ass hat, because as of right now, I will begin treatment at 8 a.m. on Wednesday the 29th. Starting out with a chemo treatment. I'll be taking 6 weeks of radiation treatment, 5 days a week. And I'll be taking 6 weeks of chemo, 1 day a week. The chemo is something called cisplant. The normal dosage is 75 to 100 milligrams per meter squared of body space. Now, I'm not a math major, so I'm going to leave that up to them. But on the bright side, normal is 75 to 100 milligrams per meter squared. They're going to hit me up with 40 milligrams per meter squared, which means only about half of the normal stuff. So this is just an ancillary just to make sure that if the radiation scares anything out, that it won't get out of the system, because the chemo will do that. It's about a 4-hour session each time, so there's 24 hours of my life taken up with chemo. The doctor said it probably wouldn't take that long, but I'll do that, and then I will do 6 weeks of 5 days a week radiation. Now, what they're telling me on this is it's a 25-minute drive to Columbus, and it's a 25-minute drive home. And when I get to the clinic, I walk in and go straight back to the radiation waiting room, and they see me on the camera. So if y'all see me anywhere waving or holding up a sign that says, "Hi, Mom," well, that's just me letting them know that I'm there at the radiation room. They're saying that the whole radiation treatment, from the time they come and get me and put me on the thong table and put my mask on and light me up and take the mask off and pat me on the butt and send me home, will take about 5 minutes per treatment. I did tell the doctor, that I've got a nice microwave here. If I could just take the mask with me, if they would tell me how much radiation and for how long to turn the microwave on, I'd be glad to do it for them. And I would even set up a camera for them to look at me and watch me do it, but they didn't think that was a good idea. So right now, just to bring everything full circle, to give you the top takeaways from this update. Radiation, the oncology dentists, no problems. They gave me some treatment to put on my teeth because radiation is especially hard on the teeth. The PET scan came back clear. And let me tell you what, I was concerned that they would give me the PET scan and I would come back lit up like Clark Griswold's house on Christmas Eve, but it didn't. So that's 2 for 2. Now it's just a matter of sitting down starting on the 29th at 8 a.m. for about 30 radiation treatments over the next 6 weeks and 6 chemo treatments over the next 6 weeks. The doctors have said after that, as long as they are checking up on me, which they said it would probably be 4 months and then 6 months and then a year that I would have to do PET scans. But after 2 or 3 years, if I've still got clean PET scans, we're hoping for that I will be cured of this thing here. And let me just say thank you to each and every one of you for your thoughts, your prayers, your care, your concerns, for checking on me, all this stuff. But I'm here to tell you, the ugly ass hat, you see, the ugly ass hat's even got a hole in it now, so I may have to do something about that. But the ugly ass hat is on top of the cancer fighter. And I'm going to beat this thing. Treatable and beatable. And I'll leave you with this one last thing. There are other people who have other issues, cancer and other things, that are in worse condition than I am. Right now, I just look funny. But the good thing about that is I did that before anyway. Take care of them. Lift them up. Reach out to them. Check on them. They're people that you know and people that you don't know. And so just thank you for all your support. And I'm going to keep you updated. And, I don't know if I'll glow in the dark. I'm at the end of my 24-hour cycle where I was radioactive from the PET scan yesterday. And yes, I did wake up a couple of times in the middle of the night because I could see this. I thought the light was on, but actually it was just me glowing in the dark. But we got it. We're going to beat this. This hat and his face are on the case. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat it. And I'm going to beat the heat too. I'm wearing a Muskoka shirt. That's up in Canada somewhere, and it's supposed to be cooler. So that's why I've got it on, so I can be cooler while I fight the cancer. But you folks, hang in there. Stay positive about anything you've got. And if you've got any kind of a issue, take care of it. Go check it out. What's the worst they can do? Tell you there's nothing to worry about? That's fine. Best they can do is catch something. I caught mine within about 2 weeks of seeing it, and that may have made the difference in things. So it's a happy day. I'm happy. Sorry I didn't get to go to Omaha this year, but next year I'll be able to go up to Omaha, to the World Series, where it's real hot, and I'll be happy. So have a good day. I'll have you some more updates starting next week when I start the chemo and the radiation. I may even see if I can get a picture of my Jason mask. And by Jason mask, no, I'm not talking about Jason Rollins or Jason Roden. I'm talking about Jason from Friday the 13th. It's got the hockey mask, because that's what it looks like, except it's orange. Go figure. I guess it's a warning, stay away from this guy. Anyway, have a good day. I'll have more later.